The Color of Your Eyes, written by Blackcatsassin, read by gutterratt1213. Chapter 8, Dinner. Better now? Phil asked, as I blew my nose into the tissue he handed me. I wiped my tears away with a smile. To be honest, yes, I do feel better. That's good to hear. That was quite a lot you had to let out. He stroked my head. I blushed slightly in embarrassment as I looked down. Sorry to mess your shirt, I mumbled. Phil laughed out loud. Don't worry about it, he winked. Glad I could help you a little. I wiped my face again, then stood up, trying to lighten the mood. Hey, let's have some dinner now. Let's try out the burgers. I pointed towards the burger place Phil showed me earlier. We went in, and Phil got us a table right away. The owner apparently was a good friend, and he elbowed Phil, praising him for finding such a pretty date. I didn't correct him. I was still exhausted from all the crying, and I felt the need to eat something first before I passed out. Phil pulled out a chair for me, and I sat down. We ordered our burgers and wine, and then chatted about casual things, mostly about myself, because Phil couldn't stop asking me questions about myself. He seemed genuinely interested in my art when I showed him my Instagram, containing photos of my paintings. For some reason, he avoided talking about Jessy, but once we were done eating and I had a moment of silence, I just had to ask him. How's Jessy? I asked, as cool as possible. Phil flinched as if I'd shocked him with that question. Good, he said, avoiding my gaze. Jessy has probably told him that she doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. Well, at least she's all right. Phil, it's okay. I know about everything. I tried to smile as best I could. Phil looked at me with a shocked expression in his eyes. You do? He asked skeptically. Yep, I said as I drank another sip from my wine. It's okay. I'm fine with it. I just wish someone would have told me. Phil looked visibly uncomfortable. That's quite surprising, actually. I nodded. You know, I live by the saying, actions speak louder than words, so I let the sentence sink in. Well, that changes everything, he said while running a hand through his hair. I smiled and I took another sip from my wine. Yep, it definitely does. What about your hacker boyfriend, though? Phil asked as he looked intensely into my eyes. I sputtered my drink. I tried to calm down my coughing while Phil was still looking in my direction. He's not my boyfriend, I exclaimed, my cheeks burning. Great, why does everyone think Jake and I have a relationship? For God's sake, does nobody see that this love is one-sided all the way up to Antarctica? That's not really what I heard, Phil raised an eyebrow. I'm gasping for air. What is this? Apparently, I have also become some kind of Duskwood gossip? So, you're single? Phil asked, the corner of his mouth tilting slightly upwards. I was still busy trying to clean up the mess I made. Yeah, I said, not giving much attention to what Phil asked. I heard him mumbling, Good, very good. What's so good about it? Do I look that miserable? Does everyone love seeing me suffer? I suddenly stood up. That surprised Phil. I want to go back to the motel, I said firmly, and headed to the waiter to pay. Wait, Leah. Phil reached me and grabbed my arm. I turned around and looked at him confused. I invited you, remember? Let me pay, he said softly. I wanted to protest, but Phil has already wiped out his credit card and gave it to the waiter. Guess I have no say in this.